Hey, Facebook peeps. So I have I'm getting this video done a little bit late. It's 11 p.m. but I am dedicated. This week I wrote an article on America Out Loud, and I'm just going to be touching on some of the main points here. And so the topic of the week I have written here that you can see: how to take control of your life experience when you have lots of responsibility and obligation taking up your time. This is definitely something I would say all most of my clients go through. They're usually parents. They're earning income. They're usually in a leadership role, and so there's just like all the stuff coming at them, and then the sandwich generation of people taking care of their parents while they're taking care of their kids, while they're taking care of all of the stuff. So it can feel like just like stepping out of bed in the morning. It's like you're already behind and you're already overwhelmed. And I talk about this a lot because this is kind of like the reality of people's experience. And I've created my life to be significantly different than that. But, kind of the normal like working world and having a family and all of this would lead to feeling this way. So I was having a session with somebody this week, and I wrote this article just right after, and I just got it, and I just realized there's a typo in it. So if you do read it, there's a typo. Maybe see if you could find it. I'll make it a game. We did a little reframe exercise that I actually learned from Dr. John Demartini. He was on The Secret, and I did his training in Santa Monica, the Breakthrough Experience. Actually, I think he's in Toronto, April. Yeah, I think he's like there this weekend. So getting to the point so that you can actually apply this to your life and have more freedom and feel good and all these good things. So none of the obligations or responsibilities, it's like people can feel really helpless because you have to, like you do have to, like you have to. I mean, some people could be like, oh, screw it, I don't want to do it. But I mean, there are things you have to do. There are bills to be paid. There are things to get done. There are mouths to feed and all the stuff. And the have-tos are just always going to be there. Now, what was happening with this particular individual this week was, even just right when we got on the call, she just looked really tired, and like that sparkly spirit of hers, I couldn't see it in her eyes. And I was like, okay, so what's going on? And then just listening to her talk, it was like everything felt like a burden, and like it was big and it was never ending. And it's like there is just going to be a lot of things to do. And so I was like, okay, well, what if instead of it feeling like everything's pulling on you and you're obligated to and responsible to, what if you get to? So this is the exercise. This is what I'm getting at. It can seem, I'm not talking about, I say this in here, self-rejection affirmations. And so there's sometimes when people take on something like mindset and affirmations, I find they can be a bit aggressive with themselves and actually reject themselves in the process. That isn't helping anybody. That's not going to help with that heavy feeling of burden. So it's not about that. It's actually just about noticing. Just notice how often you say have to. I have to do this. I have to do that. And I'm also not suggesting like also correcting other people. Say love to, like, no one likes that. So don't do that either. But just notice. Am I saying have to for everything? Do I have to, like, I have to go to the gym, and then I have to pick up groceries, and it's actually pretty common, right? I have to. And it's funny when and this goes along with gratitude. I mean, we're going along the same lines of things. Like, I know Oprah and Deepak are doing this hair's just, yeah, that was bugging me. Happens when you're looking at yourself and the video. Oprah and Deepak were talking about, if you're doing the 21-day meditation with them, gratitude and things like these things all work together. So if you go from a have to and make your way to a get to. So again, the first step is to just notice. Don't change anything. Just notice, because that act alone creates just a bit of separation between yourself and your experience. And that is very powerful. So don't underestimate the power of simply noticing without trying to fix or understand or analyze. I really just mean noticing. So try that. It's a very powerful exercise that you can use for a lot of things, but this exercise in particular. So you just notice, and then soon consider some perspective shifts and like actually shift them. Don't just paste them onto yourself as like another to do. Like Jenna said, try to say I love to, or try to say I get to. So the article here that is, well, so this is on my phone, but you can see it on Facebook and AmericaOutloud.com. I'm a guest expert on there. So hate to, so this is the spectrum. I hate to, have to, get to, love to. So get to and want to are kind of like the same. Love to, right? And then love to is the other spectrum. So hate to love, of course, but you're going to mostly hear have to. And I actually like going from have to get to. I get to, and so I gave the example of writing this weekly article. Like I get to be seen as an expert. I get to put my thoughts onto an article that will be consumed by people that might help people. And I have had people comment like, thanks for that tip. That was really helpful. So, you know, I get to write a weekly article. And what's really funny is that our relationship to reality will just keep revealing itself to us. So I had another client this week mentioned that they were feeling overwhelmed over, like there was nothing to be overwhelmed about, but they were feeling overwhelmed. And so there can be a practiced emotional experience that is simply just a habit to feel overwhelmed, and then it feels really weird to feel peaceful. It's really funny. Joe Dispenza does a lot of great work explaining that as well. I will also explain that. But here's the tip. So we're going back to how to take control of yourself, how to get your power back, how to get your life back every day when you do have a lot to do. Let's be honest. A lot of people are like stretched really thin, and like especially parents, working parents, and people with a big mission, right? Like they're really, they get to do these things, but it's like going on a flight and then, you know, getting up at 5 to do the workout, to then, you know, be on the radio show, or just whatever is in people's schedules. There can be a lot of have tos, but when you can reframe it back to your get tos. So I was working out the other day, and I was actually really avoiding my workouts a lot. I have my own gym now, which is awesome. I like it. It allows me to just go and work out and not have to talk to anybody. Not like I don't like people, obviously I like people, but not when I'm working out. So that's not my point. But I was working out and I was avoiding working out, and then I was thinking I was squatting or something. And I was like, okay, I have legs. This is pretty cool. I have strong legs. And just that perspective of like, I get to become healthier. I get to get stronger. I get to have this gym to work out in. It's just that we can use any little thing to make our life shitty and to make the day a burden and a have to. This is what we're really getting to. That perspective shift, and then kind of getting on your own side and being like, whoa, wait a second. Like even like water coming out of the drain. There was a point when I had the pipes frozen at my house. It was -40, craziness. And a lot of people's pipes froze. My pipes froze. And there's no water. And like, there's like using the toilet and having running water. And, you know, like gratitude, I don't like when people are mean to themselves with gratitude. Like I should feel grateful. That's not helping anybody again. But like, just like, wow, just perspective. Water is coming out of the tap. The toilet's flushing. Like there's these little things, like I'm going to a whole other realm of gratitude right now. But if we just change our perspective, like you have money in the bank to go get groceries. And so these little things of the day that are things that could be considered obligation, burden, responsibility. If we, and some of them are, some of them like you just don't want to do. That's fine. Just go do it, get it over with, done. But for the other things like parental responsibilities and taking care of aging parents and, you know, or even just your own self-care, like turning it into a get to, like a get, like if you're in a good financial position and then you get to provide for your parents because they're your parents, or any loved one, you know, there's so many different diverse family types out there. So that's what I am talking about this week. And give it a try. Let me know if it works. I know it sounds very subtle, but just try it on. And just when you're shifting that from have to I get to, don't be fake with yourself. Just like consider like, I have to ... like do the laundry, do the kids' laundry. That doesn't feel like a really easy get to. I really don't like cleaning. How would I turn that around? That's funny. My way that I would do that is when I have to do things that like, it's not like I love doing them. It's like, think about just the love of doing something for your kids. Like I don't have kids. So let me say that I work with parents. So that's why I'm using those examples. Like I don't like changing the kitty litter, but I get to have my cats and I love them. So it's just like I get it done and it's fine. That's not a really good example. I'm really kind of more so looking at people that are caring for people, or people that are responsible for a lot of things for others, because it can all add up really fast. And then as soon as you wake up in the morning, it feels like your day is already accounted for. That's who this exercise really works well for. Like I can do some entrepreneurial mindset shifts of like shifting my perspective on the actions I do and shifting them to one of get to and gratitude quite easily. But the ones that are feeling really like there's a lot of burden and responsibility on them, it's just like, okay, wait a second. Like, what is your ideal life? Like, if it's having a family, and if it's having a big mission and being in action on that mission, or whatever that is, or just having your job, or like getting through universities. I don't know what your life experience is. I'm just kind of speaking about the people that I typically talk to. But all of these things are things that if you really look at it, you've probably wanted, or you're on your way to something, or like if you really look at your life, it's what you want half of the time, like, or like more than half of the time when I'm talking to people, and then when they really stop and go, oh, right, I asked for this, or I wanted this, or this is exactly where I want to be. It just helps calm the mind and then allows us to be present to our day. That's what most of this is coming down to, because in reality, this day is not going to happen again. And so if you're like dragging your heels and everything is about everyone else, that's going to bring a lot of resentment in your life, and that could lead to a lot of other things. So if you can just like, again, get yourself aligned to the tasks that you're doing and what you truly love and value, and align the doings to your true desires, even if they're not like what you really want to be doing, because that's just life, right? But how you can control your life is by shifting those little perspectives really easily. So it's the same day, same tasks, but you can feel completely different. Give it a try. Talk to you later.